young men hanging around street corners looking for an honest day's work are not an uncommon sight in Lagos City. But in fact, 90% of these men are from northern Nigeria. Many of them traders and farmers forced to leave their livelihoods back home because of the threat of Boko Haram, a jihadist terrorist group based in the northern part of the country, advocating for the establishment of Sharia law in government. The group has claimed responsibility for several bombings around northern Nigeria, including a string of deadly assaults on Christmas Day last year. Muhammad Lawal, a 19-year-old student from Jigawa State, has been in Lagos for just a month. And though he barely speaks any English, he tells our translator that he has no option but to look for small jobs on Lagos streets after increasing religious violence in his already poor village brought everything to a standstill. Several of the men here have a similar story, like ex-farmer Jaram Muhammad, who says he feels that the government is downplaying the economic implications of Boko Haram's activities.
Is a government supposed to find out what will be the problem of these people where they are fighting? So even to give them a menace to stop all these things, water, road, school, and electricity, and help people where they are do any job like farmers or traders, as many business people, make government to help them so that all this problem you can stop. Like now, I not chop 3 days, 4 days, 1 day, I not chop. One person, you can deceive me, carry small money to bomb this place, I can do it. Because I not see food to chop. That is why all this problem, they start there to poverty. Now be the main problem where cause all this problem there. All this problem where they happen there, people they are selling their market, some traders, whatever, they don't get rest of mind. People that can kill them at any time, at any moment. That is why more of pressure is northerners people that run away from there to come Lagos and whatever in this country. So the thing we want for government is that, a big government is that, don't forget villagers. Make you come and do whatever you want to do there for people. Because people there, hungry, is there.
Homes and businesses now stand empty in several northern states due to a mass exodus of people to other major cities like Lagos. According to a UN World Investment Report, Nigeria's economy has lost 1.33 trillion naira of foreign direct investment since 2009 as a result of the violence. More recently, analysts noted that property prices fell by at least 50% in many of the affected northern states. And like many other consumer good companies in Nigeria, the CEO of UAC says his bottom line has been hugely affected by the terrorist group's activities.
In terms of raw materials, some of the raw materials we actually use come from neighboring countries. Things like maize, things like groundnut and groundnut cake, things like soya bean, to the extent that you've had a significant disruption across the border and also closures of these borders. There have actually been significant increases of input costs for some of our operations, largely ground cereal and oil mill operations, so our edible oil cost of production has significantly gone up. And also related to that is also our cereals in terms of the cost of input has gone up. Additionally, too, because of the location of some of our plants in the north, you've also had a significant haulage cost increase in the sense that transporters are unwilling to go there, and those who are willing are asking for some risk premium. So that has actually increased cost of freight into the north and also cost of freight from the north to the south. So you've had that cost increase. Then added to that, of course, has been significant dislocations of people and also businesses. And that has actually affected the economy of some of those states in the north in terms of the buying power of the consumers in the place. They are not making money. Businesses are not are flourishing as they should. So buying power is also a big issue. So we've actually seen a significant drop in terms of volume throughput in those locations. I would like to think that in regions of about 35% across the northern market.
Meanwhile, the economic cost of the violence continues to stack up every day. But how much is Nigeria really going to lose out on if the violence continues?
In 2011, $6.8 billion of foreign direct investment came into Nigeria, of which about $2 billion of it was portfolio investments, right? Now, these portfolio investments and this foreign direct investment, very limited amount of it went anywhere near the north of Nigeria, and probably not any to the northeast of Nigeria. About 25 to 30% of the GDP of this country comes from the north, because the bread basket, the agriculture, the sorghum, the maize, and cotton and all of that comes from there. But you know that oil comes from the south-south, gas comes from the south-south, cocoa comes from the southwest, and trade is mainly in the southeast. So over time, the economic importance of the north has been declining over time. But that is not to say that the potential is there. You now have the Obajana cement factory, you have the Northern Nigeria cement factory, Northern Nigeria flour mills. You have a lot of these companies. But compared to the population, compared to the number of people looking for work, then there is a real problem. And also you must note, there has been an underinvestment in manpower, underinvestment in education in the north, and that puts them at a relative disadvantage to the other parts of the country.
Now that talks between the government and the group are at an impasse, the horizon does look bleak for an aspiring student like Lawal or a farmer like Jaram, whose livelihood now relies on the already crowded streets of Lagos.